A U.S. official says additional air defenses are being sent to the base in Jordan, where 3 U.S. service members were killed in a drone strike. Tower 22, the site of the attack, did not have the same air defense capabilities as other bases in the region because it hadn't yet been the target of a previous assault. And we're still waiting to hear what the official U.S. response will be to all of this. Here's what President Biden had to say earlier today. Yes. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh joins us now. Sabrina, thank you for being with us. Let's begin with the president. He says a decision has been made about how the U.S. will respond to this attack. What kind of response should we expect to see?
Thanks, Bob, for having me today. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you. Look, I'm not going to forecast what our response is going to be. What I can tell you is that, and what the president said and what the secretary has said, is that we are going to respond, but it's going to be at a time and place of our choosing. I don't want to get ahead of any military action that we're going to take. Of course, it wouldn't make sense to forecast our punches here. But what I can tell you is that there will be a response because we are going to hold those people accountable that did inflict injuries onto over 40 of our service members and, of course, tragically resulted in the death of 3 of our service members as well.
Sabrina, when was the Pentagon made aware the president had made a decision?
We're in constant communication with the White House, with the president. The secretary has been in regular meetings with the president at the White House and of course, has been in touch on a very consistent basis with the National Security Council. So, again, I'm not going to give you a timeline here of when decisions were made, but I can tell you that the secretary and the president have been in lockstep the entire way.
For some Americans who might not be following every single detail of this, how should they understand the complexities of who could be targeted in this expected response? Is it a nation, a group, a certain person? How does the U.S. see the adversary in this particular situation?
Well, that is a great question, and it is a complex situation that we are dealing with when it comes to the attacks on our forces in Iraq and Syria. I think what's important for the American people to know is that these are Iran-backed militias that have been conducting attacks on U.S. forces that are there in Iraq and Syria for the sole mission to ensure the enduring defeat of ISIS. We don't want to see ISIS resurge to what it once was back 10 years ago. So that's why our forces are there in the region to protect and to ensure that ISIS never gains the strength that it once had. Again, we know that Iran continues to arm, equip, support, and train these militias, and they are the ones responsible for these attacks, and that's who we are going to hold accountable when we do respond.
What do you make of some Republicans on Capitol Hill tweeting out or sending out social media messages that say, target Tehran?
Look, again, I'm not going to get ahead of the president. I'm not going to get ahead of any decisions that have been made. What I can tell you is the groups that are conducting these attacks, we know have Iran behind them. They have the support of Iran. They are trained and equipped by Iran, but they are operating within Iraq and Syria. They are attacking our forces there, and of course, tragically in Jordan. So again, the president is going to take all necessary means that he feels to protect our forces, to protect American interests, but I'm not going to get ahead of what military action looks like.
As you make a decision as an administration, the president makes his final decision. What does it look like in terms of engagement with U.S. allies in determining what's best, not maybe just for the United States, but maybe for U.S. allies as well? Is this being discussed at length, the response, the possible response with allies, or is this more of a U.S.-only deliberation?
Well, you've seen our response with allies in Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. We've conducted multilateral strikes with the UK and other countries that have provided support for those strikes, and you've seen us do it time and time again, and we're going to continue to do that. We value the support of our partners and allies in the region and all around the world. And the attacks that we're seeing on our forces in Iraq and Syria, those have coalition forces present at those military facilities. And so it is very important that and our partners and allies understand why we are taking the action that we are, whether it be unilateral or in some cases multilateral. And that's what you've seen us do in those Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen.
Tower 22, help us understand the defenses of Tower 22 and whether there could have been a better job done or what it tells us about U.S. vulnerability in places like Iraq and Syria.
Well, as you can appreciate, Central Command is looking into this right now, trying to figure out how a drone was able to evade U.S. air defenses. I'm not going to get ahead of their review. That's something that they're going to continue to evaluate. And make no mistake, they're going to take every measure and every precaution necessary to protect U.S. forces. And they're going to continue to do that. Whether that means changing anything, I'm not going to forecast that here. We certainly wouldn't want to tip our hand either way. But what I can tell you is that for the commander of Central Command, for the secretary, and of course for the president, the protection of U.S. forces is a priority, and we're going to keep that top of mind.
The administration has framed this attack as an escalation. Should the American people be bracing for more escalation from these forces in the coming weeks and months? Is this something that's just kind of a spot attack, or is this part of a mounting escalation on the horizon?
Well, I can't predict what these IRGC-backed groups will do, but what I can tell you is that we've seen a pattern of these attacks since October 17th. We've seen over 100 attacks on our forces, and whether it be in Iraq or Syria, and now, unfortunately, with the case earlier this week in Jordan. So we've continued to see these attacks, and the attack that we saw on January 28th was, in fact, an escalatory attack, as it did result tragically in the death of 3 of our service members. But again, I can't predict what these groups will do. We've continued to message very publicly, in fact, that we urge them to stop. They haven't, and our response is we are going to take action. We are going to hold them accountable, but we're going to do so at a time and place of our choosing.
What is the role of Congress in the coming weeks in helping the administration or working with the administration on determining a path forward, especially if it involves further military action?
Well, we regularly consult with Congress. They are, of course, notified of any actions that we are taking. And so Congress plays a vital role in that. And we value our partnership with whether it be members of the committees that we work with on a day-to-day basis or other members on the Hill. Of course, Congress plays a part in any role when it comes to U.S. forces and protection of our forces, whether it be Iraq or Syria or around the world.
Sabrina Singh at the Pentagon, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.